Okay, so this is the VEVOR 27-foot extendable saw tree trimmer. And I'm going to show you kind of all the trees and all the stuff that we have, what we're going to do, just some of the jobs that we're going to look at, and go from there. So one of the things that I really liked about this is it came all attached in basically this big canvas carry-all bag. Looks like this. So I'm not going to pull out all of the expandable pieces, but I will show you the saw and the blades and stuff like that. They all come individually wrapped. So out of the box, you've got your expandable pieces here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces here. You've got different heads. You actually have the cutter with the string, which is really nice. And when I say the cutter with the string, it's this mechanism here. When you pull on this, it goes up and it actually chops the smaller branches. Then you've got the saw, which is here, one of them. A little bit windy today. You got your base, part of the pole, which is basically your main handle, everything screws into. And then you've got 2 additional saws. And you've got about 18 inches of cutting space here. So 18 inches here. So you've got the teeth all along here. And then you also have blades right here on the top to kind of like hack at it a little bit, almost like a machete, where you can chop through. They do come in these plastic coverings. I don't know if it's necessarily would trust these, depending on how sharp they are, but you do kind of have this bright orange banana peel looking thing that you can shove it in. Just looks like that. So you can shove the blade in after you're done. So install super easy. You kind of just screw all the pieces together, you tighten them in. These pieces are going to be to change your attachments. Again, this comes with a kind of a wrist fist grip right here. So you pull the string down. If you've never used one of these before, and this goes back up and chops the wood like that. So let me just show you some of the things that we're going to be trying chopping today, and then we'll jump in, put this all together, and just give you a kind of a quick, fast motion of me cutting some limbs down, and I'll go to that point. So we've got some dead branches up in here over our gazebo that we're going to be cutting down. We have a little movie screen that drops down, and so we're going to cut some of these so we don't get the leaves in front of them. This guy's kind of a beast, but we're going to be trimming some stuff back here over the jacuzzi just because leaves fall in and kind of get the filter all messed up, stuff like that. We want to do that. We're going to trim this guy. This guy I'm not going to trim. I've already done with a chainsaw. This is really kind of the major tree that we're going to be. I love the tree, but there's a couple things I don't love about it, right? The leaves, super duper small, and then it's kind of a dirty tree, like random branches just die. I mean, obviously I tried to cut this one last year with a different tool on a ladder. Didn't work out so well. We're going to trim up some of these longer branches here and then do some cleanup in the front of the house. We've got some low-hanging branches, but there's some dead ones right up in there, right up in here. Did a little bit of trimming last year, but you can see some of these whole pieces are just junk. So we'll be chopping some of those off, cutting some of these down. And then over there by the entrance to the house, the porch, we'll be trimming some of those down. Okay, so as far as the installation goes, just a couple things that you'll want to know. On both of the mounting brackets, so this one goes in here like this. We can loosen this up, tighten this. Anyway, on both of the mounting brackets, you have your threadings here. So you can see here. And then on one of the extension pieces, you have the metal on metal. So in between, you just have this ball and joint here like this, like a tent pole. You can line this up and like this, if I can show you. There we go. And the ball and joint, the ball will pop out right here. And this is on all of them, have this ball and joint. You can see right here, right? So there's also an instruction manual if you have any questions. These will all go together. 27 feet, I probably won't be putting it together today, maybe 15, 20 feet. But I'm going to put it together and then we'll get set up out front. So you can see we got one of these. We've got the bottom one and that one right there. Then we're going to go up and clean the rest. I'll give you my final thoughts. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit of work, right? I mean, you're going to have to use some muscle and it takes a few minutes. The nice thing is the blade is 18 inches long. So when you're cutting, you're getting 18 inches every time you pull it back or push it forward. So I'll share my final thoughts after we get all of this done and what it was like to use for an hour or so and get things done. Okay, so here's the aftermath of that big tree. A couple things I noticed. Obviously, cutting dead wood is a little bit easier than cutting live wood. And basically what I tried to do is trying to trim up where the big branches were all kind of hanging down at the same length. I've still got to do some small trimming here, and I'll use the snipper for that. But it took me about 45 minutes. We're going branches 2 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches. This one's about 4 inches. Some of the ones back there, 4 or 5 inches. So one of the things I did notice, and I'll talk about it in the final review, is the angle of how you cut depends on how long it's going to take you. So let me just jump in, turn this camera around, and kind of talk to you about my final thoughts. Okay, so some final thoughts on the VEVOR 27-foot tree trimmer cutter saw combination. The flexibility, when I say the flexibility in the bend of the saw is really nice. So you're basically holding a 27-foot pole, and once you cut the branch, the gravity kind of pulls your whole weight down. It takes a little bit of strength to kind of hold the weight up, and it's flexible, right? So when it's coming down, it's easy to hold, kind of like a fishing rod, right? Imagine you just got a big, fish on a rod or something like that. So the other thing I really, really like is the kind of twist, the ball joint where you just twist and put it on. So you can go 6 feet, 14 feet, 18 feet, 20 feet, whatever length you need. The saw is also flexible. So when I say flexible, it's going back and forth this way. It'll go back and forth. So when you're up in the tree, it's hard to see kind of where you're cutting. But because it's so flexible, and when I say flexible, I'm not saying flimsy, right? It's a saw. It's at least 20 inches long. The blade's 18 inches. It will find the groove that you're in. My recommendation is that you try and cut at an up and down angle wherever you're cutting. Cutting sideways is hard just because you don't have the leverage from 25 feet or 27 feet to pull it this way. The other really, really cool thing, and I say cool because the one that I had previously was just a saw, is the hooks on the top and the bottom. Let me grab it. So the hooks on the top and the bottom. Right here. So this hook here and this hook here basically lock in so you won't go out of the, like you won't go over the branch, right? The one downfall of that, though, is you may get other branches hooked in, right? So that messy tree that I was working with out front, is this would get caught on some smaller branches, but none of the branches that I cut took longer than 5 or 6 minutes, right? I would also recommend wearing pants, probably goggles, or eye protection or glasses or whatever. When the branches fall, they spit out, right? Branches, I got a couple scratches on my legs, which is fine. So if you have pants, that doesn't happen. And then the little tree trimmer, you just have to switch that top, right? So the nice thing is once you get them both installed, they have the little peg screws that you can just kind of screw in with your hands and tighten the clasps. And I'm talking about the top, right? That top piece. And then you can take those off because you just unscrew the metal, screw the other piece in. So you can go from, you know, the pull cord to the saw really, really, really quickly. The other thing that I liked is the cover for everything, right? So you've kind of got this protective cover and you've got the bag. You can put it all in your bag. So wintertime, you throw it in there, you're good to go. Springtime or whenever you're going to do your trees, right? Fall, it's in the middle of summer for us, and finish that. So overall, this exceeded my expectations. I saw this in shorts all over the place and I was like, yeah, this kind of looks gimmicky. I got it. It's not a gimmick. Did a great job. I showed you up front. So this is obviously an extended version of this. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you.